From now on, my full-time job is finding a guy who's going to take care of me.
You guys are responsible for me and everything else that comes with me.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the MST channel where we talk about all things hypergamy. We're back with chapter 12 of In Too Deep, Carrying a Married Man's Baby. Chapter 12 consists of 4 parts. In this chapter, we're going to be covering everything from when Maria came back from Miami to John possibly finding out that it's Maria. Everything will be covered in this one. Just a quick update for my channel. I will be releasing I will be doing early release of chapters for my members only. The fee to join the members only is $1.99, so you will get to listen to the chapters earlier than everyone else. If you're interested, just go ahead and sign on to become a member. All right, that way you can support the channel and I can keep putting these out for you guys in a quicker manner. Okay, chapter 12, Maria. It's been a few days since I've been in Miami. Brad has shown me a wonderful time. He took me to Barton G's to celebrate my birthday. Then we partied at Live and ended the night at Taboo Miami Strip Club. Yesterday, he took me to Bal Harbor to shop and purchased 3 Cartier bracelets for me. 1 rose gold, 1 silver, and 1 gold. And he also bought a Louis Vuitton carry-on luggage and 3 Rene Caovilla heels. He was very generous and very sweet. Of course, he has expressed his sexual interest in me, but I told him I'm not ready, and he respected that. He always called me before stopping by the condo. He never tries to sneak any feels. He was a true gentleman. He told me that my companionship meant more to him than X, and that he enjoyed my company. To be honest, so did I. He definitely knew how to have a good time. Plus, he was super rich and treated me like a queen. He told me to get ready because he wanted to take me to Giselle tonight. While doing my makeup, Gerard kept blowing me up. I decided to pick up. "Hey," I answered. "Baby, don't tell me you're still mad at me," said Gerard. "Gerard, what you are asking of me is weighing heavily on me." "I know, Maria, but I did what you said. I ordered the Maybach and had it customized to your liking. It won't be delivered until 5 months' time. And my realtor is trying her best to push your contract through for the 4-bedroom house in Victoria Estates. I told her it was urgent, and she said she'll try to get them to close on the home as soon as possible. She's working overtime to get this done for you, and I trust that you will hold up your end of the bargain and terminate the pregnancy, Maria. Be sure to send those termination papers within 48 hours of the house sale." "I will, Gerard. Send over the paperwork for the car to my email." "I did, baby," he replied. "And my realtor will be emailing you over the contracts to sign for the home, okay? I have already paid the earnest money, so everything is going by swiftly." "Okay, that's good, baby," I said, pretending to still be sad. "I'm sorry I snapped, and I've been distant. It's just that I've never been pregnant before." "I know, Maria, but please come home soon. I miss you." "How much longer will you be at your sister's?" "I will be doing the termination up here and recovery, so I'll let you know. Please, baby, don't stay away too long. I miss you. I miss you too, Gerard. Also, I have scheduled an appointment for a vasectomy. That way we can have lots of fun without this pregnancy scare again. Wow, this old ass freak was serious. All his bitch ass thought about was pussy, pussy, and more pussy. He was starting to disgust me, but I would have to suck it up because I had to make sure everything was secure. Okay, baby, I'm a little tired. Can I call you back later? I said, faking a yawn. Sure, my baby. Maria, I miss you. Miss you too. Bye. After getting off the phone with Gerard, I started Googling lawyers in the Huntsville area. I wanted to make sure that the car contract and the house contract didn't have anything in there that he could snatch it back from me. Tonight, I'll go out and have fun with Brad, but tomorrow I will be hiring a lawyer to comb through all these contracts because I was not about to get duped. I also need to fly back to Alabama because I have to go scouting for someone who isn't afraid to bend the rules and who is willing to help me with the paperwork to make it seem like I have gotten the termination done. I had a lot on my plate, but with big risks comes big rewards. And I was not about to back down now. I was in too deep. Ever since this morning, I've been having the urge to delete my SexyCam Live profile. I don't know why, but my intuition kept nudging me to do so. Let me go ahead and delete it now, and then finish my makeup to go hang out with Brad. As I logged in to SexyCam Live, I saw that John had made other profiles just to contact me since I blocked him from days ago. All his messages read the same thing. Please, Maria, speak to me. Please, I need you, treasure. I deleted them all and went to the settings, deleted all my photos and my profile permanently. This part of my life was now behind me. It served its purpose, and now I have officially moved on from being a webcam model. A few hours later, Brad texted me and told me to meet him in the lobby. As I got off the elevator into the lobby, I saw Brad standing there looking sexy in his Tom Ford. This man was fine as F. As we stepped out, he signaled the valet to bring his car around. Brad drove a matte black Lamborghini. There were some girls standing outside as well. They were doing the most, trying to get Brad's attention. I could tell he was trying hard not to look. I couldn't blame him. They were some bad bitches. But he turned away and gave me his undivided attention. That's a respectful gentleman right there, I thought to myself. About 30 minutes later, we pulled up to Giselle. I had on a skin-tight bandage dress. It was restricting me from getting out of the car freely, so Brad came around to give me a hand. These low cars are a pain to get out of, Brad said, smiling, as he held my hand and pulled me up. Brad continued to hold my hand as we walked into the restaurant. Of course, people stared. An older man with a Lambo and a 19-year-old. I already knew they were judging, but who gives a fuck? As we sat down, I couldn't help but marvel at how beautiful the Giselle restaurant was. Brad told me that he had pulled some strings to get us in here tonight because they were fully booked. I ordered the standing mac and cheese and the New York strip. Brad got the flaming lobster thermidor with broccolini. I learned a lot about Brad at dinner. He told me how he got started in the real estate industry as an immigrant from Cuba. He he came from Cuba with his mom at only 11 years old. He has really done well for himself. His dad was white and his mom was Cuban, but his dad left his mom when she got pregnant and never looked back. Brad had two kids, 22-year-old twins, who he adored and referred to his children as his world. If I had a dad like Brad, maybe my life would have been different, I thought to myself. But all I can do now is do my best with the cards that I was dealt. After dinner, Brad and I went to the beach. We sat on the sand staring at the moon and talked for hours. So, Maria, what do you see yourself doing in life? Brad asked. I want to get into real estate, I answered. Okay. In what aspect? Long-term rental, I responded. Ah, so what made you want to do long-term rental opposed to short-term rentals? He asked. Well, I'm planning on doing some traveling, so it's less maintenance for me, I said. Good answer. I can see that you have your head on your shoulders, Maria. I like that. Brad and I talked and we laughed. He is a really good time and a great mentor. He gave me some tips on the rental and real estate industry. Overall, he's definitely someone I would love to keep in my back pocket. He could definitely be an asset to me. Chapter 12, Part 2. Maria. It's been 2 days since I got back from Miami, and I had a blast. Brad treated me like royalty. He was so respectful and sweet. He's already asking me when I plan on coming back. But I couldn't focus on Brad right now. I had major stuff brewing. I hired a lawyer to comb through the contracts. So far, the car contract seemed airtight, and we were going to close on the house today. I had the lawyer look over the house contract 3 times, and he assured me that everything was looking good, and I will be the sole owner of the home. I also hired a second lawyer to make sure, and she also assured me that everything was good to go with the house. I will not be present at the closing. Everything will be done virtually via a mobile notary. I didn't want to be around Gerard right now till I had the termination situation under wraps. I have been hanging around the clinic for the past 2 days, and I met someone that worked there. Her name was Amber. I acted as if I was a patient at the dental office next door to the clinic where Amber worked. But the truth is, I just wanted to befriend her to see who I can pay off to get the termination done and put it on file if in case Gerard came looking. It was 12 noon and I saw Amber walking out of the clinic. I pretended to be busy on my phone as I walked towards her. Hey Maria, she said, excited to see me. Oh, hey Amber, I greeted her. Did you have an appointment next door again? Amber asked. No, actually I came to pick up some lab work. Did you want to have lunch? I asked her. Sure, I'd like that, Amber said. Okay, we will take my car, I said. I rented a BMW for 1 week just to pull this off. Amber was the starstruck type. She raved over my car and my designer items and was heavily invested in what I did for a living. I told her I live in California and I was just here on business. She's been pressing me for my social media. So I lied and told her I don't have one. I tried to keep her at bay as much as possible, but I need her to get me close to someone in the clinic who can put me in the system as a termination patient. I was willing to pay thousands because my home and car were riding on this. Gerard told me that I had to do the termination within 48 hours of the closing of the house, or else he would withdraw his check from the house sale. Because in the legal world, all contracts are cancelable up to 48 hours in Alabama. So I would make sure to get a very late appointment. So I would make sure to get a very late appointment for the termination, winding down to the 48 hours so he can't cancel. Plus, my lawyer drew up some papers for me that I sent over for him to sign, saying that under no circumstances can he cancel the sale even after my pregnancy termination. I will send him the contract after the closing. However, Gerard was too scared for his wife. Gerard was too scared about his wife finding out, so I knew it wouldn't come to that. So Amber, would you like to So Amber, where would you like to go for lunch? I asked. How about the Cheesecake Factory? She answered. We have something in common, I said, laughing. Our love for cheesecakes runs deep. We both started laughing. Okay, the Cheesecake Factory it is. I looked up the address to the Cheesecake Factory on the GPS. So Amber, do you have a cute boss? I asked her. Yeah, if you're into 70-year-old white-haired men, she said, laughing. Why do you ask? Why do you ask? She questioned. I have a thing for doctors, I said, winking at her. Ah, well, I heard he's in the middle of a divorce, she said. That's really sad. Yeah, it is, Amber agreed. So, can you set us up? I asked her. Laugh out loud, Maria. You're so funny. I'm dead ass. Amber, can you do it or not? I was done playing ditzy. I needed to get down to business. Oh shit, you're serious, Amber said, shocked. Yes, I am. Listen, I'll pay you $3,000 in cash if you can introduce us today. And I will also need a small favor from you. Today, she asked, sounding shocked. Yes, today. Here's $1,000. After you introduce us, you'll get the other two, I said, handing her the envelope with the $1,000. She counted the money and I could tell she was super excited. Wow, you must be rich. The fact that she thought $1,000 was a lot of money meant that she must not have been making that much at this clinic. Amber, what do you do at the clinic exactly? I asked. I'm just a receptionist, and I also handle the data entry. Okay, and what exactly do you do as the receptionist? I enter clients' files and schedule appointments, and etc. Okay, so is there any way you could make a record for me? I asked. Stating what? Amber asked. Stating that I got a prego termination. I suppose, but why would you want to do that? Ask less questions, Amber, I said, handing her another $500 to keep her nice and chummy. We were seated immediately upon arriving at the Cheesecake Factory, and I wasted no time letting my plans be known. Long story short, my friend, I needed to look like I got a termination done. Can you do that? Well, I would need to access the forms and fill them out, and I would have to scan the doctor's signature in. And then I can enter it into the system. But we will have to delete it before 30 days because everything gets sent over for inspection monthly. Inspection? I asked. Yeah, the clinic reports all procedures monthly to the higher ups. Okay, great. That's more than enough time to delete it. I will call you and tell you when to delete my files, okay? I need one this afternoon after you get off work. Today? Amber asked, shocked. Yes, today. If you have it by tonight, I'll give you an extra $500. Plus, you can come shopping with me tomorrow to celebrate my birthday. Oh, really? You would do that? Maria said. Oh, really? You would do that? Amber said, sounding excited. Yes, I would. I could tell money excited Amber, which was good for me, 'cause I would keep her nice and buttered up to get exactly what I wanted. So, what information do you need? I asked. Your date of birth, your name, and address, she replied. No way she was getting my address, so I gave her a P.O. box, the same one I used for my LLC. I would have to butter her up a lot not to talk, so I needed to lay on the flashy lifestyle thick because I can tell she's into that luxury life stuff and was all about flexing on social media. I needed to get to work and fast, and I needed to ghost her even faster. Wait, you said it says here your birthday was 2 weeks ago, she asked, puzzled. Yes, it was 2 weeks ago, but I was traveling a lot for my business, and I finally have a chance to celebrate. I'm getting a room at the Four Seasons, then we can go clubbing afterwards. Oh my God, that hotel is really expensive, Maria. Are you rich or something? No, I'm just smart, I replied. Finally, the food came, and she held her head down and gobbled up her jambalaya pasta. And she finally shut up for the rest of the lunch. This girl asked a million questions. After I dropped Amber back off at work, it was time to close on my home. I hopped on the call with my virtual notary and began the process carefully, reading every line. They read out the terms of the contract to me and asked me if I agreed. I signed all the contracts and the closing was complete. I was now a homeowner. With the closing complete, I was nervous more than ever. I needed those termination papers, and fast. I booked a room at the Four Seasons for a week because I didn't want to go home. I needed Gerard to think I'm still at my sister's. I even wore a blonde wig and shades all the time just in case I was spotted outside. 7 p.m. finally came. It was time to pick up Amber from the clinic. When I arrived, she was standing outside talking to an older gentleman. As I walked up, she introduced me. Dr. Price, this is my friend Maria, she said, introducing us. He gave me a firm handshake. Nice to meet you, Dr. Price. This is our resident doctor at the office, Amber informed me. Ah, I pretended to drop my keys so I could bend over for him to get a better view of this ass. I had Amber on the hold on. Ah, nice. I pretended to drop my keys so I could bend over for him to get a better view of this ass. And yes, he was staring. Okay. I had Amber on the inside, but there was nothing wrong with having the head MD in my pockets as well. Amber's phone started to ring, so she stepped away. I was happy because I wanted to butter up Dr. Price in private. So, Maria, are you from around here? He asked, staring at my breasts. This pervert. I'm from up north, I answered. Where up north? He asked. Well, that's for me to know and you to find out, I said, smiling. Okay. Then, when can I find out? He asked. How about dinner tonight? That could work. I have to swing by my house, but why don't we meet at Equinox at 8:30 p.m. for a nice dinner, northern lady, he said, smiling as he handed me his card. His teeth were brown as fuck. Sure, Doc, I'd like that. Please call me Paul. Okay, Paul. Okay, Maria, call me when you're en route to the bar. Will do, I said, as I turned around and walked away, making sure to walk extra sexy to entice him even more. If you guys are still here, please thumbs up the video. Whew. All right. As I got in the car, Amber was acting all excited. Girl, did you change since I saw you earlier for lunch? She asked. Yes, I did, I responded. Girl, that dress is banging and your curves in it are everything. Thanks, Amber. Are those red bottoms? Yeah, I answered. Why? Girl, how can you afford this stuff? Hard work, girl. Hard work, I replied. By the way, Amber, did you get the forms? Yes, I did. Here they are. I reviewed the papers she gave me. She even brought me blank ones just in case any of the info was wrong. It had the doctor's letterhead, my name, date of birth, address, how far along in the pregnancy, reason for the visit, date and time of termination, a signature for consent, the doctor's signature, etc. Okay, this is perfect. Thank you, Amber. I handed her $2,500. I handed her a total of $2,500, 10 $100 bills, and the rest in 50s and 20s to make the stack seem fat. The fatter the stack, the more excited a person gets. And let me tell you, she was over the moon about this money. So, did you want to hang out tonight? Amber asked. Not tonight. I have some business I have to tend to, but tomorrow we're going shopping for my birthday, remember? Okay, sounds good, she replied. After dropping Amber home, I went back to the Four Seasons to put on something a bit more risque. I wanted to appeal to Dr. Price on every level. I wanted him to practically grovel at my feet. That way, I would have him in the palm of my hand. At this point, I really didn't need him because I had already gotten the termination papers in my possession from Amber. However, I was going to lock him in as a backup if anything went south. While getting dressed to go hang out with Dr. Price, I sent Gerard a text and told him to give me a call. He called immediately. Hey baby, I said, sounding sweet as sugar. Hey, darling, he said. Gerard, I just want to thank you for everything. The closing went smoothly and I'm very grateful to you. Of course, baby, anything for you, and I trust you will hold up your end of the bargain. Of course I will, baby. I have an appointment for the termination tomorrow. However, I have a contract that I have drawn up, and it's to make sure that you cannot cancel the sales as long as I held up my end of the bargain. Why would you draw up a contract, Maria? Well, clearly, you didn't trust me enough, Gerard. You gave me conditions on the house sale saying that you will cancel if I didn't terminate the pregnancy, and now I'm giving you a contract saying you cannot cancel the house sale even after the termination. You're protecting yourself and I'm protecting myself. These are the terms. If you don't agree, then I'm going to keep the baby. All right, fine. Send over the contract and I'll sign them. Good. I just sent them to your email. I responded. Maria, I just want things to go back to normal between us. I hate that I have been apart from you for some time now. So, if signing this contract will give you peace of mind, then I will do that. Gerard E. signed the contract and emailed them back over to me. I sent my lawyer a copy as well. Maria, I need to see you and spend time with you. When are you coming home? Gerard asked, frustrated. I will be home after I recover. The doctor already told me what to expect. I will have some bleeding, so I want to make sure I'm good before coming back home. Okay, please, I miss you, baby. I need to hold you, Maria. I miss you too, baby, I responded. Okay, I'm going to get some rest, okay? Because I've had a long day, I told him. Okay, good night, baby, Gerard said, giving me kisses through the phone. I changed into a skin-tight black leather style icon dress with some black strappy stilettos and grabbed my red Dior lady bag. I flat ironed my ash blonde wig and reapplied my bold red Valentino matte lipstick. 20 minutes later, I pulled up to Equinox Restaurant and Bar. I called Dr. Price from my secret phone. Hey Doc, it's Maria. I'm outside the restaurant. Okay, great. I'm sitting by the bar. Come on in. When I checked the time, it was 8:35, so I was only 5 minutes late. Hey Doc, I said as I walked up. Hey there, gorgeous, he said, greeting me with a hug. You look stunning. Thank you, Doc, I answered. Doc looked like he was about in his late 60s. Very wrinkly, but an overall pleasant man. He must have drank a lot of coffee because his teeth were really brown though. And he talked a lot. He told me that he is going through a divorce and he's in the process of selling his home to move into a loft in the city, and that he planned on retiring soon, and that he just bought a condo in the British Virgin Islands. I just kept sipping on my mocktail as I listened to him tell all his business. So, tell me about you, beautiful northern girl, he said, puffing on his cigar. Well, what do you want to know? I asked. Where are you from? I'm from New York, but I'm back and forth between here and California. What's in California? Work. And what do you do? He asked. I model, and I'm a student, I responded. Wow, I should have known. You are beautiful. Well, thank you, I answered. Dr. Price rested his hand on my thigh, and I didn't stop him either. The bar was dimly lit, so I pulled his hand up my dress some more. His eyes bulged out of his head. Why don't we take this elsewhere? I whispered in his ear. Sure, how about my car? He asked. Sounds good. Doc drove a Porsche. When we got in his car, he began rubbing on my legs and offered to take me to his house for a nightcap. Doc, I would love to come over. However, I'm pregnant. Pregnant? He asked, shocked. Yes, I'm pregnant. But I'm not keeping it. Well, why not? He asked. Here's the thing, Doc. I'm in college and my parents would kill me if they found out that I was pregnant. And my boyfriend is also in college and his parents would cut him off and cut him out of his trust fund. So he gave me some money for termination. Can you please help me? I asked as I started crying uncontrollably. Oh, Maria, please don't cry. I'm sorry, Doc. It's just that I'm so scared of my parents, you know? My boyfriend already gave me the money. And I know you perform those procedures at your clinic. Would you be my doc? I asked as I stroked his cock through his pants. Sure, I will be, he said as he let out a moan. Come by the office tomorrow morning. We will do a pregnancy test and then begin the procedure. Thank you, baby, I said as I squeezed the head of his dick through his pants. Baby, I like that. He let out another moan. Listen, baby, I gotta get up early in the morning for something. What time should I swing by the office? I asked. Come as early as 8. I'll have them register you and get everything ready. Don't worry about payment. You can repay me with pleasure after you heal. Okay, baby. Good night, I said, kissing him on his cheek before exiting his car. Chapter 12, Part 3, Maria. It was 7:55 a.m. As I sat outside of the doctor's office waiting for them to open up at 8 a.m. so I could get my paperwork done and go see Dr. Price. I could barely sleep last night. I was up thinking of what exactly to say when the pregnancy test came back negative. Maybe I could tell him my boyfriend was abusive and that I'm scared for my life and I needed him to act as if he performed the termination on me so I could get the paperwork to show him as proof. If he refused to do so, at least I still had the fake paperwork that Amber gave me, but I still wanted something more concrete. I would even seduce him if I had to, any means necessary, because my house and my car were riding on this. At 8, I saw the open sign turned on. I swiftly walked to the door because I wanted to be the first one in. Amber was shocked to see me. Hey, Maria, she greeted me. Hey, girl, I responded. I have a walk-in to do a termination. She looked at me puzzled. I'll explain later, I whispered as she handed me the clipboard. I filled out all the info and handed it back to her. Minutes later, Dr. Price walked out smiling from ear to ear. Good morning, Miss Hallgrove, he said, greeting me. Good morning, I responded. Right this way. I followed him back to the room. The nurse will be right in to set you up for a pregnancy test, and then we can begin the procedure, okay? Doc, wait, I said, closing the door. I then planted a passionate kiss on him. Here's the thing. I'm not pregnant. I thought I was because I took a test and it came out positive. But then I took another one this morning and it said negative. But because my boyfriend saw the first one came out positive, he is insisting that I terminate because his parents will stop funding his education and cut him out of the trust fund. He is very abusive, Doc, and I'm scared of him. He wanted proof of the termination. I started crying while rubbing on his cock. So, you want me to do a fake termination? He asked. Yes, Dr. Price. I just need something on file because he'll come digging. Please, I'm begging you, help me. I'm scared of him. Okay, wait. Let me go get a urine cup. I'll let you know if you're pregnant or not for sure. And then we'll take it from there. Please don't cry, Maria. I'll help you. Minutes later, Dr. Price came back with a cup in hand and told me to go pee in it. I did just that and handed it to him. About 5 minutes later, he came back to the room. Well, you are not pregnant. Maybe if you went to your boyfriend and told him that you went to the doctor to check for sure, then he won't have a need for any proof of termination. Doctor, you don't understand what he's like. He saw the positive test and lost it, and said I shouldn't contact him without any proof of termination, or he'll terminate it himself. I'm scared for my life, Dr. Paul. Please, help me, I said as I climbed onto the doctor's office bed with my legs wide open. I was desperate. As I opened my legs, Paul attempted to touch my pussy. I slapped his hand away and whispered in his ear, "You only get this if you agree." I could tell in his eyes. He wanted me. He wanted me bad. Okay, I will drop the paperwork to reflect that you are pregnant and that we performed a termination on you. But you can never repeat this to anyone. You hear me? I could lose my license for this. No one can know. I'm only doing this because I don't want you to get abused. By the way, you need to get away from that guy. He's no good for you. I know, Doc. I'm trying. I'm trying to get enough things together so I can move away from him. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes with the paperwork. As he was about to walk out of the room, "Wait, one more thing, Doc. Can you put on the paperwork that the procedure was done at 5 p.m. today?" I told him. I told him my appointment was at that time. "Okay, will do," he said. Damn, a man will go the extra mile for some pussy. My goodness. All it took was me shedding some tears and opening my legs, and he crumbled like a cookie. About 20 minutes later, Dr. Price came back with the papers. I reviewed them carefully. In the papers included a positive pregnancy test report and a termination report, date and time. "Will this all be on my file if he comes looking?" I asked. "Well, HIPAA law protects your privacy, so under no circumstances can he request these records. They are not his business. That proof of termination and pregnancy test letters, those proof of termination and pregnancy test letters should be enough for him. Okay, good, I said, smiling. So, now that we know that you aren't pregnant, can you come by tonight? Dr. Price asked boldly. Of course, baby, I said, giving him a kiss and a nice hand job. He came in less than 2 minutes. Little did he know that he may never see me again. On my way out, I stopped at the front desk and told Amber that I needed to see her. Minutes later, she came outside. Hey, Maria, what's up? She asked. Did you already enter my records in the system? I asked her. No, not yet. I have a big workload, Amber answered. Okay, good. Don't bother. I no longer need you to put me in the system. The papers you gave me are good enough. If I had remembered about the HIPAA law, I wouldn't have asked her to enter me in the database in the first place. But thank goodness she hasn't done so already. So what were you seeing Dr. Price for this morning? Amber asked. Nothing much. I just had some medical questions for him, I responded. Okay, so are we still on for the mall this afternoon? Amber asked eagerly. Yes, we are, I said. I wasn't about to break my promise to her, but I wasn't going to go clubbing with her tonight. I would just go shopping with her and then go back to the house and then go back to the hotel to relax. She was way too eager for my liking. I'll pick you up after work, okay? Okay, she said as she went back to work happily. I went back to the Four Seasons to get some sleep. I was super tired after being up all night worrying about getting these papers. Now I had 2 copies, but I will present the copies that the doctor gave me and be sure to make extra copies to put in my safe, just in case. I wasn't worried about Amber ratting me out, because ratting me out would be ratting herself out and putting her job at risk. I wasn't worried about Dr. Price saying anything either, because he could lose his license for lying. Plus, him having a sexual relationship with me, his patient, was a big no-no. So, all 3 of us would have to keep our mouths shut about this matter. This afternoon, I will send proof of the termination to Gerard. Hopefully we can move forward smoothly. Although, I don't know how much longer I'll be sticking around Gerard, but for now, I will hold off and let things settle. Chapter 12, Part 4. John. I got into the office around 8 a.m. and had 3 cases in court today. I have decided to forget about Treasure, since she was no longer taking my calls. Good morning, Esperanza, I greeted my secretary. Good morning, Mr. Witherspoon, she replied. Esperanza handed me some files, like she always did. These were files I had her prepare for me for my clients this morning. As I got to my office, I began reviewing the files. Why am I looking at a house title for a home in Victoria Estates? As I was about to close the folder, I saw the name, Maria Hallgrove. Hallgrove? Hallgrove? Where do I know that name from? Oh, fuck. Maria? As in Maria? As in Treasure Maria? My wife did the hiring process, but I could swear I heard her say Maria Hallgrove was the ex-nanny's name. I quickly closed the folder and at the front of it wrote Gerard Markand. Esperanza had accidentally given me Gerard's files. Why would Gerard have a deed to a house for Maria? Oh man, no way was Gerard fucking my ex-nanny. How did they meet? Then I remembered she was a cocktail waitress at my birthday party, but I'm not sure her last name was Hallcrove. I'm gonna have to find out from my Wild's files in her office when I get home tonight. I handed back the files to Esperanza and told her she gave me the wrong batch. I was in disbelief. Is that why she quit the job as Nick's nanny? I would have to get to the bottom of this later. I had someone to go represent in court in about 15 minutes, so I began reviewing my client's files. After work, I headed home, eager to go through Jessica's office to confirm Maria's full name. If it was her, then this would explain why she quit. Because she has found a new cash cow. And she no longer needed my $4,000 per week from SexyCam Live. I can bet you that was crumbs compared to what Gerard was giving her. I can't say anything to Jessica because she's going to want to know why I care. That bastard Gerard is one lucky motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted a piece of treasure, but clearly she's occupied with the old man. As I pulled up to the house, Jessica pulled in behind me. Fuck. Now I'm going to have to wait until she's asleep to search her office. Hey, honey, I said as I stepped out of my BMW. Hey, hubby, she said, kissing me on the cheek. Jessica looked heavenly in her tennis outfit. Back from tennis so soon, baby? Yes, I had some things to get for my sister, Kathy. And by the time I would get back to the court, it would be too late, so I just came home, Jessica said. As we got in the house, we saw our new nanny playing with baby Nick. This time, Jessica hired a thick 40-plus-year-old nanny. She said she didn't pick her and that the agency suggested her, but I knew better. To know my wife wouldn't want anyone more beautiful or sexier than her working for us. The thing with Maria is that she always wore sweatsuits, so her shape never really showed. But she was extremely pretty, even without makeup. Geneva, our new nanny, was very respectful and